Let's make a craft while I tell you how to romanticize fall. My husband's grandmother gifted me all of this fall fabric, so obviously we have to make a fall tote. In order to romanticize your fall, you need a spooky coffee, of course, that's a given, but we also need some ambiance, which is why I'm lighting this pumpkin spice candle. In terms of supplies, you'll need fabric. You're gonna need a piece of paper with the designs printed out on them to trace, some fabric glue, some embroidery floss, embroidery needles, and of course something you want to sew the patches onto. Now is time to pick out your fabric. Some of this fabric was purchased on Etsy and the other pieces were gifted to me by my husband's grandmother. She used to be an arts and craft teacher and she kept all of her scraps. I created the stencil that I'm going to use to make the pumpkins on Canva and I just printed it out on copy paper. Now I'm cutting it out so we can begin to trace. Another thing I like to do to romanticize my fall is read cozy books. My book club is currently reading Keeper of Enchanted Rooms and it's adorable, so cozy, and it's been pretty clean so far. Now I'm just going to cut the fabric to size. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and get ahead of this. My nails are horrible right now. I hate having to go to the salon to pay to have them take it off because I'm not really a nail girly, but here we are. Now we're just going to trace the pumpkins onto the different pieces of fabric. And I love doing this with some fall ambiance in the room. Currently, I have some ambiance on YouTube playing and it's titled Great Hall Halloween Harry Potter Ambiance. 10 out of 10 recommend. Now we're just going to cut out the little pumpkins. I swear that crafting is good for you. It engages your mind and your hands, but it also is just such a mood booster. And this is pretty easy as well. So now I'm gonna take my canvas and I'm going to lay out the design on how I want it to look on the canvas. Playing around with different options here. And now we're going to use our fabric glue and we're going to put glue in the middle but not towards the edges. If you put it on the edges, it'll make it so much harder to thread needle through. Press these down. My favorite fall movies are truly the Harry Potter series. Most rom-coms that were shot in the late 80s, early 90s. And I can't forget Gilmore Girls. Now we're gonna get our embroidery needles out. One little fall tradition my husband and I do is we turn on Harry Potter on the first Friday in September and it takes us all the way through to Halloween. Also, if you don't have one of those little gadgets, I don't even know what it's called, but it just makes threading so much easier. Definitely recommend. And now we're just going to start the needle from inside the canvas tote and we're gonna pull it through. There are lots of different stitches you can do. This one is the easiest. It's known as a running stitch or a simple stitch. And I like to mix and match, so I'm doing a vertical hem here. I thought the maroon was such a fun pop of color. Lastly, I just want to zhuzh it up with a little bow on one of the tops of the pumpkin. So I got this little ribbon. It came in one of my Etsy orders and I tied it to the top. If the inside of your tote looks like a mess, so does mine, so don't fret, no one's gonna see that. Let me know if you're gonna try this in the comments. And don't forget to follow for more DIY craft ideas.